Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel Rapid Law, and today in this video we'll be learning about the law of torts basics. Okay, without any further ado, let's get into the video. Let's start with the foundation of tortious liability. We all know that tort means a civil wrong. Tortious liability arises when a person breaches a legal duty fixed by law. This means the law imposes certain responsibility on everyone, right? And when someone fails to follow these responsibility, they become liable for any harm caused. And it results in an injury. It can be a legal injury or an actual injury to another person, which means the breach must cause some kind of harm or loss to another person legally protected right. This harm could be a physical harm, financial harm, or a violation of right. And the foundation rests on the recognized torts and not unlimited wrongs, which is mentioned in the pigeonhole theory. It is very easy. Only specific wrongful act defined as a tort, and with not every wrong or unfair act is legally actionable. This is what it means. Okay. Liability is typically of private right and not public wrong. Okay, what it means is liability is just it's typically for private right and not for public wrong, which means it is only usually protects individual or private interest rather than public or governmental concerns. Next is unlimited damages are usually remedy to the injured party, which means that the damage amount is not predetermined and it will only be decided by the courts. And the key principle, which is a legal maxim, which is ubi jus ibi remedium, which means where there is a right, there is a remedy. What it means is that the person's legal right is violated. When a person's legal right is violated, the law ensures there is a remedy or compensation available. And next is sometimes a liability exists even when there isn't any physical or pecuniary violation, but mere violation of a right. For example, denial of a right to vote can also be an example of it. Next is essential elements of torts. There must be a wrongful act or omission by the defendant. The act must violate a legal right, not just cause annoyance. Next is legal injury, not just physical injury is required, reflecting the injuria sine damno doctrine. I'll explain it later in the later slides. Okay. Damages or losses may be actual or presumed by law. A remedy must exist, usually in form of an action for damages. Tort requires no prior relationship or contract between parties. Vicarious liability may arise if the wrongful act is done by an agent or an employee in scope of an employment. This is vicarious liability. I will explain it in the other upcoming classes. Next is wrongful act. It is defined as any act or omission infringing a legally protected right. That means a wrongful act in tort happens when someone either does something or fails to do something that interferes with another person's right protected by law. Next is the act must lack legal justification, differing from law acts done in self-defense. Very important. For an act to be considered as wrongful, there should be no valid reason for it under any law, such that acting in self-defense or with any permission. Okay. Next is wrongful acts include intentional, negligent, or even strict liability offences. It is mentioned in the Rylands versus Fletcher case, and I'll explain the facts in the later slides. Okay. Next is what it means is liability in tort can arise from deliberate action, careless behavior, or even responsibility without fault in certain cases, like keeping dangerous things, which will come under strict liability. Next is a wrongful omission. Wrongful omission or failure to act when law requires also suffice. This means when sometimes not doing what the law requires, or such failure to maintain safe premises, or ignoring a duty of care, or even it is even enough to make a person liable under tort. Next is motive is usually irrelevant. Motive is irrelevant unless in case of malicious prosecution. Okay. What it means is generally the reason behind the act doesn't matter in tort, especially in tort, except in specific cases where intent is key, like making false accusation out of malice. Next is injury may be civil injury or can be a criminal injury. Next is tort deals with civil liability. The injury may be civil or criminal, but tort deals with civil liability. Tort focus on wrongs that lead to non-criminal consequences, such as compensation for harm rather than punishment by the state. Okay, it is only focusing on the civil wrong. Next is example. Example for this is unlawful restraint, trespass, nuisance, defamation, or damaging someone's reputation, or physically threatening or hurting someone. All these will come under the law of tort. Next is legal damages. Legal damages refers to the infringement of legal right even without actual loss. This is mentioned in the legal maxim, injuria sine damnum. And next doctrine is damnum sine injuria, which means legal damages contrasts with actual or pecuniary damages. And the right impaired must be recognized by law. For anyone to have to succeed a tort case, the right that was violated must be right upheld by the legal system. Not all the interests or expectations are protected by the law. Courts may be avoiding some nominal damages even there is no actual loss occurred. This can be also done by courts. Actual loss alone is not actionable unless accompanied by a legal injury. This means that a person suffers loss, but there has been no infringement of a legal right, the law does not allow them to claim damages through tort. Next is legal damages upholds protection of constitutional and statutory rights. It is also mentioned in the case Beam Singh versus State of Jammu and Kashmir. In this case, legal damages is especially important for upholding higher level rights such as constitutional rights. In this case, the court awarded compensation because a constitutional right was violated. Even without the monetary loss, the constitutional violation happened. So, the court awarded compensation. Courts seek to restore the injured party to status quo by awarding remedies, which means putting the victim back to the position they would have been if the wrong was not occurred, as much as possible through compensation or other means. This is called as putting the injured party in status quo. Next is what are the remedies in law of tort? Remedies include compensatory remedies, damages to restore injury or loss, nominal damages awarded for mere breach of legal right without loss, exemplary punitive damages, which means punishments. Okay, the court awards extra money as punishment when the wrongdoer's actions are especially harmful, reckless, or malicious. In order to discourage such behavior, it can be done. Next is equitable relief. Equitable relief means injunctions. Injunctions to stop the continuing actions, wrongful acts, instead of just awarding money. The court may order a wrongful doer to stop doing something harmful, like for example trespassing or causing a nuisance, or which directly prevents further harm. Next is specific restitution may be given when property is wrongfully detained, which means uh, when if a person is wrongfully holding onto another person's property, then the court can command the return of the property to its rightful owner. Next is declaration. Declaration. Court recognizes rightful ownership in some disputes. In some cases, what happens? The court issues a formal statement or declaration about who has the legal right to property or other matters, clarifying the lawful position even if there is no compensation is paid. Next is landmark judgment. We all already saw Beam Singh and this is state of Jammu and Kashmir. Ashby versus White is also a landmark case. For this, Ashby versus White for compensation despite no actual loss. Important previous cases shows that the courts can award damages or remedies even when there is no miserable loss, but simply because a person's legal right is violated. This is mentioned in these two cases. Let's see the injuria sine damno doctrine in depth. It means legal injury without actual loss or damage. Legal right is breached though no physical or financial harm is suffered. Plaintiff is entitled to remedy, no need for quantifiable loss. Next is a case law, Ashby vs. White. In this historical case, a man was wrongfully prevented from voting. He received compensation from the court for merely denial of his legal right, and not though even though he did not lose anything financially, but his right was violated, so the compensation was awarded. Next is violation of constitutional or statutory right justifies compensation. Courts often award compensation when rights guaranteed by constitution or written laws are breached, even if there is no real world harm. Okay, next is we already discussed the Beam Singh versus State of Jammu and Kashmir case. For unlawful detention, the compensation was given. Next is protection ensures strong assertion of legal right without the need of harm proof. This rule, what it means is, this rule makes legal rights meaningful because people can enforce them in court without having to prove the actual injury that has been caused. Actual injury or loss need not be proved. Next is damnum sine injuria doctrine. It means actual damage without legal injury. Monetary, physical, or emotional harm suffered, but no violated rights. No legal remedy if the defendant's act is within the lawful bounds. In this case, Gloucester with grammar school, the competition caused loss, but there was no remedy. It's because in this it is a historical case. In this famous case, a new school was opened, leading to a financial loss of the original school because of the lower fee. The court held that there was no remedy since the new school's action were legal and did not violate any rights. Commercial rivalry is generally protected by law despite other losses, which means the protection for lawful competition means that not every business loss is actionable. Next is Richards versus Richards. In this 1859 case, loss of water supply due to neighbor's well, no remedy. In this, one person dug a well and caused their neighbors to lose water for their mill. The court found that since the act was lawful, the neighbor could not recover the damages. Next is shows law prioritize protection of rights over compensation for perceived harm. This means this principle makes it very clear, that the main concerns of tort law is the protection of legal right and not all harms lead to compensation. The laws only offers remedies when the right is actually violated. We already saw the ubigus ibi remedium maxim. It is a Latin maxim where there is a right, there is a remedy, which is very important. The saying means that whenever the law recognizes a person's right, it also provides a way to address any violation of that right, usually through the courts. Foundational principle in tort is that court exists to enforce rights and remedy wrongs. The basic idea of law of tort is to make sure that if someone's right or harmed, the courts are available to correct the wrongs and give appropriate relief. Next is the origin. Ashby vs. White, which is a very important case law and affirmed in Marbury and Madison case. Okay, this maxim was famously applied in this case Ashby vs. White, where the court awarded compensation for breached right, and its importance was later reaffirmed in the landmark case, US case, it's a US case, Marbury and Madison. Not all moral or social wrongs have judicial remedies unless legal rights are violated. This is also very important, which means that there must be a legal right involved, not just moral or social expectation for the law to intervene. The remedy may be a damage, maybe damages, injunctions, or specific performance. We already saw this. In order to stop a harmful act, injunctions can be given, and to fix a wrong, courts can order compensation or damages, and also require someone to do something which is called as a specific performance. No remedy exists absent violation of a legal right. reverse maxim. Okay, if there is, which means if there is no violation of a legal right, then the courts cannot provide any legal remedy, no matter how bad the situation seems. In Indian Constitution, Article 32 and 226, very important, empowers courts to provide remedies for rights infringements. It basically talks about the writs. Okay, in India, the constitution guarantees that people can go to the courts for protection of their rights, especially through special remedies under Article 32 for Supreme Court and 226 for high courts. Okay, writs, through writs. These are few landmark judgments in law of torts. Ashby versus White, we already saw the facts. It can be relevant for injuria sine damno and ubiges ibi remedium. Next is Gloucester Grammar School, damnum sine injuria. Rylance versus Fletcher, it is for strict liability. In this case, what happened is the defendant built a reservoir on his land, which burst and flooded, and the plaintiff's coal mine was damaged. The court held that the defendant strictly liable for damages caused by keeping hazardous thing on his property, even without negligence. Next is Bhim Singh was a state of Jammu and Kashmir. This is for violation of right to liberty. Bhim Singh is a MLA, was an MLA and was unlawfully detained by police, uh, preventing him from attending a legislative assembly. So the Supreme Court awarded compensation for the violation of his constitutional right. Violation of a right to liberty is a violation of constitutional right, right? So despite no physical harm, he was awarded compensation. Next is MC Mehta versus Union of India, very important environmental case. It is for absolute liability. In this case, after a severe gas leak from a chemical plant, the Supreme Court ruled that industries dealing with hazardous substances have absolute, not just strict liability, but also absolute liability. They are responsible for any harm caused, regardless of precautions taken. This is mentioned here. And Richards versus Richards, no legal right violated. It was held. And the Saint Das versus Ujagar Singh, trespass and nominal damages was mentioned. Thank you so much for watching this video. All the best for your exams.